I remember this one. I was in a masjid outside California, and I don't know what was in question and answer. I don't remember, walillahi alhamd, but I remember what happened after. It was question and answers. I answered, and then a man came to me afterward. Can I talk to you? I said, sure. Says, I'm not happy with what you said. You're gonna make my wife, and again, something in this meaning, our married life will be different. And then he quote this verse. And the man is never like a woman. But he did it in the negative way, which some people, this is why. And I said, what do you mean? He said, literally the meaning of we are better. And I said, who said so? He said, Allah. I said, where is it? He said, وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنْثَى. That's how that's why we, as women and as men and as humanity, we cannot say something about Allah and we don't know what we are saying. And I'm not saying, and also you cannot use this to say the woman is better, because then you are doing the same thing. You really have one, especially when you talk about the Quran. You have to come from number one, I need to know what I'm reading, and I need to know Arabic, and I need to know why this was said, where it was said. And then you have to know, come as you are reading, let's assume you read, لَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنْثَى, the man is not like the woman, meaning the man is better. Then you have to go back and says, it doesn't make sense, because Allah is just, and we are both His creation. There has to be something I'm not getting it. Are you with me? This is how we understand the Quran. We cannot understand the Quran with our own hawa. This is the biggest problem these days. So the man read it in a way, and he will say, okay, it's this because this serves me. And then the woman goes and read another verse and says, oh, I read it this way because it serves me. And then and most of people don't know what Allah is saying, even those who read Arabic. Most of the people don't know what Allah is saying, because you really have to know almost perfect Arabic. You need to know how to read and what to read and how to apply it before you start giving your own opinion. And alhamdulillah, when he was talking to me, alhamdulillah, I know this, and I was explaining to him, and then I remember the Shaykh of the masjid, who was a very well-known Shaykh, came in and he actually also gave it to him, but he was not convinced. You know why he was not convinced? He doesn't want to. No, and this applies to the woman also. Again, and I really don't like this. I don't like when we sound like feminists or the men sounds as they are masculine. This is not what Allah is saying. We are both creation of Allah. If I'm going to say the man is better, then I'm saying Allah is not just. And if I'm going to say the woman is better, I'm also saying Allah is not just. Are you with me? Yeah. So this is very important. When you read the Quran, you cannot, what you want and came exactly in that situation, what do I need, and I'll bring the verse. And then this is the other problem for us as Muslims. Majority of us don't know how to respond. And you stay quiet. So number one is you need to understand when you read these principles, where was it said? And why it was said. This is the number one. Like, for example, you say to your child, I don't love you. Do you really mean you don't love him or her? Or in that situation, whatever happened, the way they respond or the way they act, at that moment, you are not happy with them. That doesn't mean you don't love them, right? So the same thing here. So let's take it first where it is and where this was revealed. So it's in Ali Imran, chapter number 3. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here talks about the birth of Sayyidah Maryam. But he starts by talking about her mother. Okay, then comes the story. إِذْ قَالَتِ امْرَأَةُ عِمْرَانَ. The wife of Imran said, I'm going to translate the verse and then I'll tell you the story. قالت امرأة عمران ربي إني نذرت لك ما في بطني محررا. Ya Allah, I have made an oath that what I have inside me, she's pregnant, I am going to give it up to the church to work there and to serve you. فتقبل مني, Ya Allah, please accept. She didn't deliver yet, right? فتقبل مني إنك أنت السميع العليم. Ya Allah, accept it from me. She's giving up her child to the service of Allah. Okay? Physically. Meaning that child, when becomes an adult, is going to give him to go and live in the church and serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إنك أنت, please accept from me. إنك أنت السميع العليم. You are all hearing, all knowing. طيب. فلما وضعتها, now she delivered. There was no ultrasound. We don't know boy or a girl. فلما وضعتها, when she delivered the baby, قالت, the wife of Imran, mother of Maryam, قالت ربي, oh my Lord, إني وضعتها أنثى. I delivered the girl. And Allah here respond in between. والله أعلم بما وضعت. Of course Allah knows what she delivered. Now comes the word. وليس الذكر كالأنثى. And the man or the male is not like the female. طيب. وإني سميتها مريم. Then she said, Ya Allah, I called her Maryam. وإني أعيدها بك, and I seek refuge in you, her and her offsprings من الشيطان الرجيم. Allah responded, فَتَقَبَّلَهَا رَبُّهَا بِقَبُولٍ حَسَنٍ. Allah accepted her with a beautiful, excellent acceptance. The mother of Maryam, most of the scholars says her name is Hannah. She was infertile. She couldn't have children. One day she was sitting and she saw she saw a bird feeding its baby. And she wanted to have a child. So she said, if I'm going to get pregnant, Ya Allah, I'm going to give you this child to serve you completely. And then she delivered the girl. What is wrong with that? Now you need to know this so you know why the next statement. Because if there are only people who can work in the church 24/7 and don't leave are only the men. Why? Because they have the same as we do. Because during menstruation, she cannot be inside the church. So she knew. So فلما وضعتها, when she delivered, قالت, she said to Allah, I'm not going to be able to do it. إني وضعتها أنثى. Now this girl is not going to be able to do the job I want her to do for you. Because I wanted this child to serve you 24/7. Now I don't. And Allah responded, this is the beauty of it, وَاللَّهُ أَعْلَمُ بِمَا وَضَعَتْ. Why do you think Allah said? It's very nice. I'll give you the lessons at the end because the lessons apply to all our life. Right? So Allah knows what she wanted. And Allah, He is the one who gave her the girl. But the best part, which remind me at the end, because I have to keep you a little bit excited, right? And who said, وَلَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنثَى? So it is in the same statement. But who said it? Wait, did you raise your hand? So there's two opinions about it. Because it is coming in it, like especially for those of you who know Arabic, يسموها جملة اعتراضية. It's a statement that came in. It is not exactly related to the rest of the statement. وليس الذكر كالأنثى. And the male here, ذكر, not like the female. That's exactly how you translate. الكاف هنا كاف التشبيه, they call it. It's a tool, we use it to compare or to make something like something. So who said it? Some said, and this is the less opinion, that it's the mother. And majority say no, this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying it. Now the question, because that's when you need to know Arabic. If you know Arabic, you will never say the male is better than a woman. Never, because then you don't know the Arabic. In Arabic, when we want to have something and we say this is like this, usually the like this is better than the like. They say المشبه أقل من المشبه به. This is for people who know Arabic well, right? So for example, if you say this man is like a lion, who's better? That's always, this is rule in the language. The second is usually better, right? But in this case, I don't want you all to smile, now the woman is better. No, because then I'm acting exactly like, you know what I'm saying? But I need to know this, to know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at this moment, He's not putting the woman less, because this is what I need to know. He's not putting me less, but He didn't say I am better. What He was telling me and what He was telling us, what she was, even if she said it, that most people say no, because if she was the one who said it, it should be ليس الأنثى كالذكر, because it should have been the girl is not like the boy because she delivered the girl. So most scholars says, no, this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. طيب. So here I am, number one, what I am saying here, this doesn't mean the man is better or the woman is better, but rather for the job I want her to do, it's not going to happen because she's a woman. I'll give you an example. What are, in general, we as women, what are the careers that you tell to your friends, I don't think this is suitable for a woman? Give me an example. In general,
Construction worker.
for example, right? Construction worker. Why? What is wrong with construction work? Wait. It requires physical. Does anyone deny that the man is stronger than the woman physically? Can't. Creation of Allah. Right? But that doesn't mean she is less. I mean, if she doesn't work in construction, she's less. Right? And if he works in construction, doesn't mean he's better. No. He's just stronger. Right? I always bring this when this subject comes in. So the woman delivers babies. The woman gets pregnant. Is the mother better? Is the woman better? The mother is a different story because there's a hadith about the Rasul. But does that mean the woman is better than a man because she gets pregnant? What is his fault? No, I really mean it because we need to look from the two sides, then we are fair. Is this feminist or against? No. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the man the ability to do A, B, C, D, but he didn't give him the ability to get pregnant, is he less? No. He gave her, it's not a choice. He created, fashioned the woman to be able to get pregnant, and then he fashioned her emotionally, hormonally to take care of the baby. I mean, you all know, mothers, especially in this room, you know very well. If the baby cries at 3 a.m., who jumps from the bed? Natural. It's the mother, even if she slept an hour ago. I mean, especially for breastfeeding moms, you know this. That's why she gets exhausted. So here, لَيْسَ الذَّكَرُ كَالْأُنْثَى, there is certain things in life, the man is absolutely better. And there is certain things in life, the woman is absolutely better. Whatever the father is, he cannot give the emotions the mother gives it. True or false? Because that's how Allah fashioned him. And this is why they always say, I loved it, I looked at so many tafsir for this one. SubhanAllah, every tafsir add little bit. For example, and this is very beautiful. It says man and woman, I want you to memorize this, right? They are different, but they are equal in the sight of Allah. This is the most important principle. When I am standing in front of Allah, and let's say my brother, my husband, my son, a man, when Allah looks at him or looks at me, it's not about gender. It's about what? It's about what? My deeds. His deeds. He is better if his book is heavier than mine. I am better in the sight of Allah if my book is heavier. Done. So why did he create us differently? That's all this today is a lot of questions for you. You need to know this because the young generation will ask you this. If I'm a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, born, raised in the West, I read this, that's going to be difficult for me to swallow. Right? Unless I know what Allah is saying. That's why you need to know that. As parents, as mothers especially, also as fathers, you need to explain to her this. Because I don't want someone to come and tell her you're less. And that's what Allah said. It was said to me, I told you, I started by saying this was said to me in my face. But it's not. تَتَأَوَّلُ عَلَى Allah. I told him, you're saying things about Allah, he didn't say it. And you need to be very careful. And that's really serious. That we are equal in the sight of Allah, but we are different. He created us differently. Why did he create us differently? Now the second question. The answer is we complement each other. Everything, by the way, has male and female. Animals have male and female. Plants, male and female. That's his hikmah. We need to bring more generations, more children, more offspring. So we are equal, but we are different. The expectation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to certain extent, from the woman is different than from the man. Yes or no? Fil jihad, real fighting for the sake of Allah. Does he expect us to go out? Is it an obligation on us? Well, that's not fair. If I was a man, I would say this is not fair. If I want to use the same argument the woman says, a man will say this is not fair. She's like me. Why I have to go with all this fighting and all this fear and all this, and I may end up dead? Why she's not? The answer is what answer? Exactly, Allah said so. Walillah alhamd. Friday prayer is not an obligation on the woman. Why not? That's not fair. Right? I mean, this argument can be applied on both sides unless I really need to know the hikmah, the wisdom, everything he has. Now comes to the man's side. That's one of the most controversial verses. Man has doubled the woman. Why? That's not fair. You will hear this, especially from the second generation. Why? That's not fair. How do you answer? You need to know how to answer this one. In inheritance, this is a huge problem, Hadi. How do you answer it? Yes?
Who is responsible about the family?
You need to know the Islamic structure of society and Islamic structure of a family. There is no 50-50 in Islam. You want to do it, that's extra. You will be rewarded for that, but you're not required. The financial responsibility in a family is the responsibility of a man. Period. Absolutely. So if he's responsible for his mother, if she has no one else to, like no husband, no other sons, he's responsible for his mother. He's responsible for his wife. He's responsible for his children, and he's responsible for the unmarried sisters. Of course you give him double. Did you get it? But if I'm looking at it, it's not fair, I am the same, then you need to, this is exactly what is happening now. Now we're ending up the 50-50 and I'm spending on everything. The balance is becoming imbalanced. But I want to help, of course. I want to give my family more. I want to give my children, absolutely. But I'm not required in the sight of Allah. And this is something we all have to know that. But that doesn't mean let everybody starve. It's my money. That's also not. So ليس الذكر كالأنثى, meaning there is things, the way they are created, they are different. The responsibility expected from them is different. But in the sight of Allah, and the reward is equal. Because say it's Salama came to Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam and says, Ya Rasulullah, like, look at the woman those days. Says the men took all the rewards. They go for fight, we're not going for fight. And this is the highest reward. And everything in the Quran is given to the men, meaning in the masculine. Immediately Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed. It's more than one, but they say probably this one. من عمل صالحا من ذكر أو أنثى وهو مؤمن فلنحيينه حياة طيبة. Allah responded right away. Whomsoever does a good deed, صالح, man or a woman. Here he separated. فلنحيينه حياة طيبة. We're going to make them live a good life. The other one, they said probably the response to this question also, and where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala separate. This is one of the few verses where he separated gender. إن المسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات. Muslim men and women, believing men and women, patient men and women, صادقين, truthful men and women. He went on, خاشعين, ذاكرين الله كثيرا والذاكر. He separated. So in general, and I think this is very important for the woman, you need to look at yourself. Number one, as a creation of Allah. And any creation of Allah is sacred. Karramna bani Adam. Allah said it. We have honored and elevated the status of the child of Adam. Just because I'm a human being. This is why one of the annoying words I used to hear a lot from them, I'm just a housewife. I was like, don't say just. No, really, don't say just. Why you're belittling yourself? You are a creation of Allah. Or also, for example, for a man, especially younger, I was like, I'm just a teacher. What is just a teacher? Why just? Why you belittle what you are doing? Because in the sight of Allah, we're not going to be judged by the money. We're not going to be judged by the name and the family. This is what the difference between this life and the hereafter. In the sight of Allah, we are the starting point. We're equal. The starting point. Whether you are born here, born there, this language, that language, we're the same. Who all of us are the children of Adam. This is it. What's going to make me go straight up, or I'm going to go detour, or I'm going to go lower, is what I did. And my relationship with him.